Okay, this is now the tarot lesson number 26. And can I promote myself? The tarot book in paperback. The tarot book is also available as an ebook. If you go to Amazon.com, type in the tarot book, my name, you can buy it if you want. So today mainly is about a question left by Evelyn. And she was trying the idea of write down a question and pick a card or two and figure out what you might say for that question, for that questioner. So her question was, what's today going to bring? And what she got was the Knight of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, and the Seven of Batons reversed. And she wasn't sure what to do with it. She left, in the comments, she left her interpretation, which is fair enough. But I think it's the kind of question that people have, but people practicing on their own, they would maybe do, what's tomorrow going to bring, or what's going to happen? And I don't like that kind of question, partly because it sounds like it's clear, but it's actually quite vague, because what is tomorrow going to bring in what area of life? We don't know. Is it about relationships, partnerships, children, work, friends, stuck in traffic, going to work? You know, it's also, your life is, even if you do nothing, your life is still full of all sorts of stuff. So asking what will today be like is too broad. But better to, if you're going to take that approach of what's today going to be like in a particular area, because you can have good time with friends and a terrible time at work. So how can one card or two cards tell you the contrast between work and friendship? I don't know if it can. Maybe it can, but it's an awful lot easier to be specific about what area of life, I think. The other thing is, and I picked out this Three of Swords. Let's say you pick the Three of Swords and you go through the day. Remember, we've got bias. We see what we expect to see. So if we pick the Three of Swords at the beginning of the day, we're looking for sorrow and heart and upset throughout the day. And maybe, let's say at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you're talking to a friend who tells you that they just broke up with somebody. And you think, the Three of Swords. But the thing is, maybe the Three of Swords influence lasts for 10 seconds. And you ignore everything else that was good throughout the day. So I've questioned the value of picking a card to know what the future holds in that kind of situation. The other thing is, it depends who the questioner is. If you do this for yourself, you know who you are. But if you do it for somebody else, so let's say we've got the Knight of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, and the Seven of Batons reversed. Let's say Evelyn is 23 and going to school. So this can be, she goes to a lecture, right? And so the Knight of Pentacles can represent some young fellow in class who stands up and makes a point. And then the King of Pentacles can be the professor in the class who agrees with the young fellow, same suit, and both cards are upright. So there's agreement between the young person and the old person. And so the Seven of Batons reversed can be the other students thinking, look at this idiot sucking up to the professor. Because in some way, this is good, this is good, this is not quite as good as it could be. So, or on the other hand, Evelyn might be 65 with grandchildren. So the Knight of Pentacles can represent her son or her son-in-law. And maybe the King of Pentacles represents an older man, maybe the young man's father. And so you've got different scenarios depending on who the questioner is and what they're doing. And I think it's very difficult to ask a question like, what will today bring, and then pick 3 cards and try and make sense of them. You could do it that I took out this King of Swords as well, because I'm thinking, when I was imagining what to say, and I'm thinking this, let's say this is the young student, right? If the King of Swords is the middle, so the young person says something, the older person doesn't agree. It's not that they have an argument. The King of Swords reversed, yes, they fight, and they disagree violently or vehemently about what the young person is saying. But the fact that it's a different suit, I think we can say the young person says one thing, the older person has a different take that is not really that compatible with what the young person is saying. And so maybe they end up going nowhere or agreeing to disagree with the Seven of Batons reversed there. But we've got, so if we look at these three cards for Evelyn and what today brings, we've got a Knight of Pentacles here and a King, and it's the same suit. It's as if Evelyn understands something or learns something which then becomes established and more clear and more obvious, because the Knight, the young person, becomes the King, the old person, as if there's newness in the beginning, but it's quickly established. But there's a but. The Seven of Batons is reversed after those two. As if she learned something, it becomes established, then she wishes she had never learned it in the first place, because maybe there's going to be more responsibility than she wants. But in one way or the other, the two positive things here end up being something that's not really welcomed or not really enjoyed that much. So I was thinking, instead of what will today bring, because that's also the idea that we don't have that much control over what happens. So by saying what will today bring, it's as if you're on the receiving end of life, which may be true, but why don't we do it differently? So the question isn't so much will it work, the question is more how am I going to make it work? Because you thought of the plan, or you thought of the idea, why not? You thought of it because you're supposed to see what it's good for or where it leads. So rather than think what will today bring or what will today be like, maybe we think in a more positive way along the lines of how can I make today better, or how can I make tomorrow better, or how can I make work better, or how can I make my my romantic relationship better, which is it's more specific and clear. And we've also got the idea we want to make it better rather than suffer. So maybe I can't think of a question. Let's say, how am I going to make tomorrow better than today? And we pick a card, and we've got this one, and we turn up. What have I got? The Knight of Swords reversed. Right, don't rush. Because if it's the Knight of Swords, take action, go out and make things happen. It's upside down. Relax. Rather than, so you're going to have, there'll be things tomorrow where your natural instinct would be to knock it down, or to attack the person, or to rush into something and to do something without really thinking, and just assume that you'll be able to figure it out once you get started. But the Knight of Swords upside down is saying, or means, or I think is pointing to, don't rush. Don't be like that. Don't be like the Knight of Swords. So slow down, take it easy. Rather than take action, stop. Give yourself an hour to think about it. And then once you've got a clear idea and you've figured out, okay, this is not going to cause me problems, because a Knight upside down can represent problems. So I figured out this could go wrong. So if it begins to go wrong, I'm going to recognize that it's going wrong and I'm going to stop, or I'm going to change the direction that we're going in so that it doesn't turn into a complete mess. Something like that. I think I know I'm biased, but I think I would enjoy that kind of thing rather than what will today bring. So another question is, let's say, how can I make my romantic relationship better? King of Cups reversed. Don't be like the King of Cups. Don't be moody. Don't be bossy, because a king runs things, right? And so the king upside down means take a back seat, or don't be a backseat driver, as they say. So with the king upside down, rather than you being in charge and making the decisions or deciding what's going to happen and when it's going to happen and why it's going to happen and making all those kinds of decisions the way a king will do, don't do that. Be sensitive to other people and their needs and their requirements, and cooperate with them and help them to become optimistic and confident the way that a king is optimistic and confident. So here we get, so happens that both cards were upside down, which I think in its own way is saying, don't do that tomorrow, or don't be like that, and you'll make things better. Whereas if we get an upright card, the Page of Cups. Okay, so be like the Page of Cups. How? Be poetic. Be laid back and useful and interested in new beginnings and sensitive, and look for fish in cups, whatever that might mean. But it's more like, but because pages represent young people, be useful. And the way that young people think they know everything, but they really don't. So be like that. So go into the situation, or go into tomorrow with a youthful mind, maybe, knowing that tomorrow is going to be interesting and I'm going to learn new things. So if I'm focused on learning new things and spotting what other people don't normally spot, or seeing the unusual and imagining what it might mean, that's the way to handle tomorrow, to make it better. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. Today is no, it isn't. Today is Sunday. Okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll see you again on Wednesday. All right, thank you very much. Goodbye. Bye-bye.